Hi there, Kaizen Sensei here, going to give you a quick lesson on the Toyota Kata. A lot of you had taken my classes and all of this is just pretty much a review. Now, when we talked about kata, means way of doing from Japanese to English. It concentrates and focuses on form and processes. So when we do kata, we try to do it the same way over and over and over again, and to continuously improve those forms and processes. Now, what a kata is a method of solving problem statements. Companies have problems all the time. They could be small, medium, and large, and if you do it right, you can resolve these problems. Now, what's key here is that Toyota Kata has 5 steps with sub-steps within them. So what the 5 major steps are is discovery, strategy, challenges and obstacles, the experiment, and at the end, in conclusion, is to compare plan versus actual results. Now, the first item, the first step is discovery. Now, what discovery targets is the causes and the effects. Okay. And also, what we try to do and what we attempt to do is to look at the root cause instead of symptoms. So our goal is not to provide band-aid solutions. So what we do as an example is that we ask why 5 times. Why? Why do you have a flat tire? Because I drove on my driveway and hit a nail. Why was the nail on your driveway? Well, because I hired contractors and I think they left some nails on my driveway. Why did the contractors leave nails on your driveway? So that's a root cause. And one way to fix that is to notify the contractor and tell them that they should write an SOP about cleaning themselves up after working on your property. Now, when it comes down to discovery, you have to ask one question. Well, actually several, but the first one that you need to ask are, what are the conditions, the current conditions that support the problem statement that you are experiencing? Now, I can't tell you what those are. What you have to do is you have to go through this exercise yourself, okay? Once you know what the problem is, what are the conditions that support that problem statement? Question number 2, what are the target conditions? You want to list those conditions. Now, what we're looking at is the current conditions and the target conditions, where you at and where you want to be. So when you write down target conditions, say that your current condition is that you have employees that are not trained. A target condition is to have them trained. A current condition is that my machines keep on breaking down. A target condition is to have them maintained. You see what I'm doing? It's somewhat very simple. Obviously, your problems have different current and target conditions, and that's the exercise that you must go through with each of those problem statements. And so, what you have is a bridge of incidents. This is your target conditions. This is your current conditions. That's your target conditions, and then you got this bridge that goes to your location. And what you do is you want to develop a strategy of sequential steps that will get you there. Now, very important, when you figure out what those steps are, which is part of your plan, is to list the obstacles and challenges that will get in the way. People forget that they don't include that in their planning. And as a result, they don't get good results. Probably the most important thing that you need to do whenever you put this plan together, this strategy, is that you have to list those obstacles and challenges. Please do not forget that. So once you do that, then you actually conduct the experiment, which will follow a plan, do, check, act, outline. Now, when you do your experiment, you will, like you do, put your sequential steps together until you come to the conclusion. Now, what you would do is that you would execute or do the steps of your plan. Now, in the check phase, sometimes you have a problem, and I'll give you an example. You go to a doctor, and the doctor says, I'm going to put a plan on you, which will include taking these pills. You take the pill, and you find out you're allergic to it. Of course, you don't continue taking the pills. You have to stop taking the pills and ask the doctor to replace it, and then continue to keep on going on your process on an act basis, on a plan, do, check, act basis. And then what you find out at the end, you will have a comparison of notes. What you planned and what came out as a result. And if they're equal, then you can close your experiment. Close experiments if plan equals actual. However, if it doesn't, like if you've got a bunch of problems, like say that you wanted to have all of your laborers not learned, trained, there we go. If you want all of it, but you put the plan together, you find out you can't do it for whatever reasons, then you have to redo this cycle, and it's called the PDCA Deming cycle, where you plan, do, check, act your process over and over again until the plan and the actuals come together. You see how the Toyota Kata works? It's very simple. It's easy to remember. It's easy to implement, and you get great results. Now, I know I fumbled my way through this, but I think you understand what this is all about. Do not forget the Toyota Kata, because when I go to you as a client or as a new client, I'm going to go straight to this to resolve your problems. And if that doesn't work, I have others that I could use, other problem resolution methodology, but this is the number one way in which we attack it, and I have the greatest successes with this. So thank you for listening, and I hope that you practice the Toyota Kata. Thank you.